Hey guys, Shuckle King here, bringing you the first interview in a series of coaching interviews for the WBE Season 6. I wanted to reach out to some of the draft league coaches in particular, the coaches that don't have as much experience in the draft league format. So I want to get to know them a little bit and what motivates them to try something different and honestly try something that I've loved doing for years. So for this first week, we got THATSAplusONE. How's it going?
It's going pretty good.
Great. So just tell me a little bit about yourself, like how you got into Pokemon and just what you do.
Yeah, so I am a sponsored VGC player playing for the team Lazarus. I've been playing VGC since 2011. I've actually been playing Pokemon since obviously like Gen 1. A lot of people are Gen 1ers nowadays, but I've been playing since Gen 1. I've been playing competitively since Gen 3. Since about 2007 to 2013, I did a lot of singles. I've been #1 on pretty much every showdown ladder there is at some point. And like I said, around 2011, I switched over to playing VGC full-time. I'm a Twitch partner. I stream daily on Twitch. And yeah, I run a pretty successful YouTube channel, almost at 20K subs on YouTube, doing both singles and VGC.
Oh, congrats. That's awesome. Yeah, I didn't even realize you were that much of a singles player, because I know you a lot more recently for your VGC aspect.
I mean, yeah, a lot of people I'm with that really like old school like Smogon crowd that like kind of helped build the site back in the day.
Okay. Yeah, no, I started like at Gen 4, so it's usually not many people beat me out. So
yeah, no, I mean the thing is the only thing I would say I have on people that started in Gen 4 is like an advanced respect for like Resto Chesto sets, because like there were no recovery moves, and like every Pokemon back in competitive singles in Gen 3 had like Chesto Berry Rest.
Oh, well, it was even worse in Gen 2.
Oh, yeah, don't even...
Rest, sleep, talk.
I mean, back in the day, like, I mean, one of the reasons, like, per se, like, what got me into competitive Pokemon, so, like I said, I started playing in Gen 1, and actually, like, I used to live on, like, a really popular, like street with all the people that were my age that were all playing Pokemon, and we used to just do, like, weekly tournaments. So even back in, like, Gens 1 and 2, I was trying to, like, figure out ways to beat other people at, like, competitive 6v6 battles. So that's probably one of the reasons why I still like competitive Pokemon.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I had like 1 or 2 friends that we would play consistently with, but having a tournament structure like that's awesome.
Every single week we'd restart our files and make a whole new team, and on like Saturday or Sunday we'd have like, you know, a 4 to 8 person little bracket, and we would just run it.
Oh man, no, that's so cool. That's awesome. Yeah. So what got you interested in joining the WBE and the draft format as a whole?
So I've never drafted before, like you were talking about. I've never been in a draft league. I've never really been interested in draft league. And I know a lot of people like to see like, oh, I'm not interested as like, I'm too good for it. I don't think that's it. I think it's a completely different set of skills that go along with drafting, as go along with playing singles, doubles, be whatever format you're going to play. It's its own format. It has its own specific, quirks about it. But the whole thing that got me interested in the draft format was, I'm sure you know that they made a VGC and singles WBE this season, right? Yeah. So in doing so, you would expect me to play VGC, but actually A-Drive reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to play singles for this season. I'm sure me and A-Drive, we talk a little bit, and he knows I've been wanting to play some singles, so he asked me to play singles, and I was super down. I love singles. And they needed to fill some roles because, you know, like A-Drive, Duncan, a lot of those people stepped over to play VGC this season. So because the VGC had because WB had twice as many spots available, that just means there was room for me to play singles, which I'm super happy to do.
Exactly, yeah. Did you have a particular preference between singles or doubles?
Oh, I like singles way better than doubles. The only reason you play doubles, like period, is because that's where the money is, right? You know, you go to the VGC regionals, you do well, you know, like I was talking about, I've been playing singles forever. What I used to do to like keep me interested in singles was I would go like all over like the West Coast, going to different like LAN tournaments, anime conventions, and I would just like dumpster the 30 or 40 people that would show up to those tournaments. And, you know, I'd take the, you know, 40, 50 bucks or whatever prize they had, and I would just go to the next one. So like tournaments are what really drive it for me. And VGC has more of a structure for LAN events than singles does. So that's why I've switched over to VGC in the most like, you know, 5 or 6 years. But at my core, I'm a singles player, and that's actually what makes my VGC content pretty unique, is because I look at it with a lot more of a like aggressive tendency. Like I'm an old school singles player, so like it makes sense.
Okay, yeah, no, that's definitely neat. I don't think Pokemon really handles the singles format as well as general. Like really nothing's there, which is unfortunate, but got to go where the money is. Yep. I definitely understand you. So with your team, you had a different team that you originally drafted and made a lot of changes post after the draft. So how was the experience of drafting for the first time, and what prompted you to make all the changes that you did?
With my team, like I said, this is the first time I've ever drafted. And overall, in my first team, I got decent picks. I picked a bunch of really weird stuff. And I will say the number one reason why is because the person who went 2 picks before me, James Beck, coach of the Jubilee Life Piplups, sniped like every one of my picks. And so like I've never drafted before. And so like I have a locked in pick ready. And they would go like, all right, THATSaPlusONE, you're up. And I'm like, I already locked in. And they're like, no, James took that. And I'm like, what? And like, I'm not even home, you know? So I'm like, all right, whatever, I'll pick this one, you know?
Yeah.
And so like, I didn't even get to like look at he sniped like 6 of my picks. And the thing about it is, if you look at his team, I don't want to like do shots at James. His team's way too slow, you know?
Yeah.
Like if you tweak just a little bit of his team, like I'm sure he has like 4 transactions he can make. He just needs a little bit of speed. So like, my idea was his team, but with like adequate speed control. And I understand that he's actually so good at making spreads. Like he will not have a problem not having the speed control. And I'm sure he'll tweak things a little bit. But yeah, like I wanted the Corviknight and I wanted so many different things that he had, and he sniped them all from me. And so I was like, whatever, I like Darmanitan, I like Blissey, I like Celebi. I know. And then actually by the end of the draft, I was looking at my team and I'm like, the team I had was okay. It was really, really basic, I would say. It was a little bit too defensive. And so what made me actually switch my team was that I saw that no one picked up any of the Raincore. No one picked up Politoed, Kingdra, no one picked up Mimikyu, no one picked up the Raincore, and also all the things that check it. So like no one picked up T-Tar, no one picked up Mimikyu. I'm like, cool, I can pick up this Raincore. I can hate draft away T-Tar and Mimikyu so people can't take it you know, for the playoffs or later on in the draft when they decide to switch over because they know they need weather control, which is what most people are probably going to realize. And
exactly.
Yeah, I realized that like my team's super busted, and I'm really happy with it.
Oh, great! I'm happy that you're happy with it. How well do you think you'll do this season?
If I don't get playoffs, I'd be really disappointed. I do have to switch out one of my Pokemon. I'm gonna switch out the Boltund for a Stoutland to give me a little bit of a like sand/rain core, so they have to respect both of them. I think a lot of the way, actually. That's the next question, right? You know, you sent me a bunch of these questions. Like, what do you think I'll provide that's unique, right, to the other coaches? I think a lot of the people that play Pokemon nowadays like to play a defensive game, right? They like to play a game that says, like, all right, I will win if X, Y, Z happens. They don't need to take the risks. They don't need to outplay their opponent. They just put themselves in a safe situation through the use of hazards, weather, stuff like that, and they just kind of coast through the game, minimizing RNG, right? That's how most people kind of play nowadays. That's the play style that's really popular near the end of Gen 5, going well into Gen 6. And that's the way people play singles and VGC for the most part. The thing that I think puts me apart from that is that I'm super aggressive, and not aggressive in like a bad way. Aggressive in the way where I think a lot of people have forgotten the art of like pinning opponents, and how if you have like the correctly speed tiered Pokemon, you can pin your opponent into a situation where they cannot take this much damage on this Pokemon this many amount of times before switching. And if they switch, not that they'll necessarily switch and take hazard damage, but they can't switch in on this Pokemon's specs damage, this banded Pokemon's damage, this Pokemon with a multiplier's X damage. And so that way of kind of shoving in defensive players is something that, like I said, I've been number 1 on pretty much every single ladder at some point, be it on Pokemon like Online or Pokemon Showdown. And that's just the play style that works for me. I think a lot of people expect, like your buddy that was running down the draft before, he said like, oh, this team has like no hazards. It doesn't really have that much defog. There's not that much it can do if it needs to switch. And I was like, I don't plan on switching. There's going to be like choice items and sashes on all my Pokemon, and I'm just going to shove your face in until your 1 to 2 walls that might be able to do anything can't switch in anymore. And that's how all my games are going to go.
Yeah, that's definitely a cool formula you got there, and especially with the raid. The raid is gonna just
perfect for it.
It's gonna boost your attack so strong. That's insane. I really like your approach this season, and hopefully you do well. I don't have you that high on the power rankings, but I'm very happy.
I heard what you said. You said nice things. Like you said, like I really like this. It looks like he needs to like do something a little bit different, but like you liked the where I was going with it. Like you could see, like I said, like I hate drafted the things that would cause me problems. I had a lot of aggression, and I feel like a lot of people, you know, this is what a lot of people think. So like, let's say you can't break their wall or you can't do this, you have to switch It's like, I would much rather you KO me and I regain board position immediately than having to switch, take some damage on something I don't want to take damage on, and potentially like let you have a chance to set up even more. Like if I have a Bolton on the board, for example, right? And Bolton can't really do that much. Let's say you do like 10 to 15% against one of your Mons, but it can stop you from setting up and force you to KO the Bolton. And then I can bring out a Pokemon that can automatically check you or force you to switch. You're the one that's playing defensive. I'm still in control of the board. And there's only so many times you can switch or play defensively before your walls just can't keep up anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's just making sure you keep that offensive pressure on, that your offensive pressure outnumbers their amount of defensive switches they can make. Yep. So that's definitely a very viable strategy. And hopefully it works out. I like your approach for sure.
I mean, it's pretty one-dimensional, right? But I mean, we have so many different things. Another thing I wanted to talk about was like what sets me, like what's unique about me compared to other coaches is that like there's a lot of little mini cores in my team that you have to respect. You're gonna have to respect the sand. You're gonna have to respect the rain. I know you guys were talking about how in previous formats Zhang drafted like a rain team, and it was hard to just be rain the whole draft. But like I don't have to just be rain. I can go sand. I can go rain. I can go like bigger into them on the Mimikyu. I can go a couple different things without having to just play that really one-dimensional play style.
Sure. Yeah, no, definitely. It's good to have that variety. When you only have 11 months, it's tough to have.
We were always supposed to have 10. We actually added that like 5th pick in like near the end of the draft. And like it messed up a lot of people's draft. That's why people are like, oh, he has fall links. Why does he have fall links? I was like, it was free. I'll take it, you know?
Exactly. And that can be a low-key threat. I feel like people are definitely going to sleep on that a lot.
It was either fall links or sock that I was going to pick. And since I talked about like not really respecting hazards as much, I was like, I'm not going to use 30 as much. I'd rather just take the fall links and force them to respect it.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Getting a no retreat because you're not going to switch anyway. So
yeah, no,
you might as well boost all your stats. Okay. So, all right. So a couple little silly questions. So, well, first, what's your favorite Pokemon?
Oh, it's obviously going to be Butterfree. I've been using Butterfree for years and years and years. I've top cut multiple VGC events with Butterfree. It's definitely our stream mascot, and it's the mascot of my team. So, of course, I had to represent with it.
Is it better than Masquerain, though? You can't make A-Drive mad.
I mean, the A-Drive's the only person, like, I'll let, like bug types, you know? Like, I remember when he reached out to me because he wanted to learn, like, VGC last season, at the start of the 2020 season, and, like, we reached out and I helped him a lot with, like, Butterfree and a bunch of, like, bug different things. He's the only person who, like, actually likes bugs enough for me to let him have that bug type pass.
That's definitely fair. That's funny. Okay, so, rapid fire questions here. So pretty quick answers. So what fast food place would you close down permanently if you had one choice?
Is Togo's fast food?
I don't even. What is Togo's?
Oh, it's a sandwich place. I'd close down McDonald's. I worked at one in college and I hate them. I hate McDonald's. I didn't eat a single thing when I worked there, and that McDonald's are filthy. Don't ever eat there.
Definitely fair. Yeah, I get sick every time I eat there, which isn't that often. What's your favorite type of bread?
Bread. Sourdough bread.
Ooh, that's my choice too. Ooh, solid. What's your favorite roller coaster?
I hate roller coasters. So the Cobra at like Marine World is a little roller coaster for children. So I go on that one. Okay.
If money wasn't a factor and a pandemic wasn't a thing, where would you go for a vacation for a week?
Oh man. Money wasn't a factor. I just got back from a trip to Santa Cruz and I want to go back to Santa Cruz. So I'd say Santa Cruz.
Ooh, that sounds really solid. Last question. What are your thoughts about the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remakes?
Oh, I'm super excited. It's all I do is like skateboarding stuff. You can see in the background of this, I have skateboards everywhere. So I'm super excited. I'm going to be streaming that live at Twitch TV/THATSAplusONE. You guys should check it out sometime.
That's awesome. What's your favorite game of the series? Because mine is 4. Because I played that a ton on the PlayStation 2.
So I like number 2. You can play Spider-Man in that one. I think all the maps for 2. I think I like the soundtrack in number 1 the best, but I like the maps and the way they tweak the physics just a little bit for number 2. So I like number 2.
Okay. That's definitely fair. At a childhood favorite of mine was Disney Extreme Skate Adventure. Do you know of that one?
I think I've heard of that.
I think it came out like right at the same time as.
Yeah, I remember I remember hearing about that, and I'm like, why don't we just play Tony Hawk?
That's definitely fair, but I like Disney. But yeah, no, Tony Hawk was definitely Tony Hawk 4 in particular is a favorite of mine. Okay, well, yeah, thanks for doing this interview. It was a lot of fun here. So anything you'd like to plug in particular before we sign off?
Yeah, like I said, we're right about to get to 20,000 on YouTube. We're about 100 away. So if you guys want to check out my YouTube, it's youtube.com/THATSAplusONE. Actually, it might be like user/THATSAplusONE, but THATSAplusONE on YouTube. We also stream daily on Twitch. Like I said, I play singles and VGC, and it's going to be a lot more singles focused, I would say, in the next few weeks, because WBE, I'm probably going to be doing a lot of my actual team building and breakdowns and preparing for each coach's matchups live on stream. So if you guys want to see how people build spreads exclusively for and how to beat other teams, maybe that's something you might want to check out.
Oh, awesome. All right. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. All right. Well, thanks and have a good one.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Yep. All right. Later, guys.
Later.